You're sitting in an airport lounge. Delayed flight, bad coffee, nothing unusual. Across the room, a man is laughing into his phone. Loud, confident, the kind of person who doesn't think twice about being seen. He shouldn't be here. Your phone vibrates. One message. Confirm identity. You don't look at him again. You already did that 10 minutes ago. Facial recognition, gait analysis, voice match, 98% probability. Close enough. Another message. Stand by. You take a sip of coffee. It's still terrible. Around you, people scroll their phones. A kid cries. Someone argues with the airline staff. Normal. In 3 minutes, that man is going to disappear. And if you do your job right, no one will remember he was ever here. You don't follow him. You don't need to. By the time your flight boards, he'll already be tracked, flagged, processed, handled by people you will never meet. You were just there to confirm he was real. That's your role now, not the hammer. The thing that tells the hammer where to fall. You didn't apply for this. There's no application, no job posting, no recruiter pretending this is a career. They find you. Always after. After the missions that don't exist on paper. After the operations your own command never brings up again. After you've already crossed the line. You thought you were at the top. Delta, SEAL Team 6, Agency Paramilitary. The kind of units people whisper about like myths. You thought that was the ceiling. It wasn't. He approached you 2 weeks later, not on base, not in a secure facility. A hotel lobby, bright, busy, loud. The safest place in the world to have a conversation no one should hear. He looked like nothing, not average, less than average. The kind of face your brain deletes instantly. If you saw him again tomorrow, you wouldn't recognize him. That's when you knew. This wasn't normal. He sat down without asking. Didn't introduce himself, didn't show a badge, didn't say your name, just one question. How long can you disappear? You answer automatically. Weeks, maybe months. That's what this life is, right? Deploy, return, repeat. He shakes his head. Once. Wrong. That's when you realize you've misunderstood the question. He slides a paper across the table. No markings, no classification, no proof it came from anywhere. 3 lines. That's it. You will not exist. No record, no recognition, no recovery. If something goes wrong, no one is coming. You read it again. Slower this time, trying to find the part that sounds like a job. There isn't one. You look up. He's not studying you. He's not judging you. He's waiting. Like the decision has already been made. Just not by you. You think about your life, or what's left of it. The version where things made sense. Where there was a career path, an ending, a name attached to what you've done. That version is already gone. You just didn't realize it yet. Because the truth is, people like you don't go back. You don't unsee things. You don't return to normal. You just move further in. Or you pretend you never got this offer and spend the rest of your life wondering who replaced you. So you don't hesitate. Not really. You ask the only question that matters. When do we start? He stands. No handshake, no welcome, no confirmation. Just gone. Like he was never there. 3 days later, you get coordinates, no explanation, no instructions, just a location. And that's when you understand. You didn't accept the job. You were already in. Level 2, the breakdown. You've been through selection before. You know what hard feels like. Endless runs, no sleep, cold water, weight on your back. Delta tried to break your body. SEAL training tried to drown you. You thought that was the test. It wasn't. Day 1. They don't give you a weapon. They don't give you orders. They give you a photo. Average man, brown hair, medium build, forgettable. Follow him. 8 hours. One rule. He cannot know you exist. Easy. You've done this in war zones. Tracked targets through cities that wanted you dead. This is just another version of that. You lose him in 2 hours. After, they show you the footage. Not his, yours. Different angles, different streets, different moments. A woman with a stroller. You passed her 3 times. She clocked you every time. A shop owner. You made eye contact once. Too long. He marked you. A man sitting outside a cafe, reading a newspaper. Never looked at you directly. He took 6 photos. You didn't see any of them. Again. You adjust. This time, you last longer, but not long enough. You fail. You hesitate outside a restaurant. 2 seconds. That's all it takes. A real professional wouldn't stop, wouldn't think, wouldn't exist. That's when it hits you. They're not testing your skill, they're deleting it. Everything that made you elite is what makes you visible. You spend weeks learning how to be less sharp, less aware, less you. You change the way you walk. Shorter steps, a slight drag in your right foot. You don't know why, but people stop noticing you. You change how you stand. Weight uneven, shoulders relaxed, like you're tired, like you don't matter. You learn what gets remembered and what gets erased. Faces get remembered. Confidence gets remembered. Anything unusual gets remembered. Average doesn't. Gray doesn't. Boring doesn't. That's what they want. Day 7, you complete it. 8 hours, no detection, no praise, no reaction. Just a nod and a new photo. Harder this time. This one knows he's being followed. You start again. Level 3, the replacement. Surveillance was just the beginning. That was the easy part. Now they take your identity. Not officially, not on paper, but piece by piece, they remove it. You already speak Arabic. That doesn't matter. Now you learn how to sound like you were born somewhere else. Different dialects, different rhythms, different mistakes. You learn the small things real people remember, the details that prove you belong. Too fast, you're suspicious. Too slow, you're suspicious. They make you watch hours of local television, not for entertainment, for behavior. How people laugh, how they interrupt, how they disagree without saying it directly. You copy it, again and again, until it feels natural. Then they strip everything else. No uniform, no gear, no identity. They drop you into a city, foreign, crowded, hostile. No money, no ID, no support, no extraction. Just one instruction. Survive. 1 week, 3 objectives. Day 1, you're hungry. Day 2, you're desperate. You steal food. You hate it. Day 3, you start changing. You listen more, speak less, adapt. Day 4, first objective. Photograph a building, specific angle, no attention. First attempt, you fail. Second attempt, you don't stop moving. You take it without looking. Better. Day 5, second objective. Day 6, third. You're exhausted, dirty, unrecognizable. They extract you. You think you passed? You didn't. The failure rate is over 90%. Not because they're weak. Because they can't disappear. The loud ones, gone. The ones who need credit, gone. The ones who stand out, gone. They keep the ones you forget. Average height, average build, average face. Nothing special. Until they need to be. That's when you understand. You're not being trained to operate. You're being trained to vanish. Level 4, the first ghost. Your first real mission isn't dramatic. No helicopters, no weapons, no night vision. A city in North Africa. You won't say which one. The target? A businessman. On paper. In reality, he moves money, millions, across borders. He's not on any list you'd recognize. That's why he matters. Dead, he's useless. Alive, he's a map. Your job isn't to remove him. It's to understand him. You arrive as someone else. German, mid-level, boring. Everything about your identity works. Even the people around it believe it. You rent an apartment no one notices. And then, you build a routine. You exist. That's it. No sudden moves, no reason to be remembered. Aggressively boring. Then, you get closer. The gym he visits, you join. You don't look at him. The cafe he visits, you become a regular. You never speak. You just exist nearby. Week 3, you know his schedule. Week 4, you know his world. Drivers, meetings, patterns. You don't chase information. You let it repeat. That's where the truth is. Week 6, something changes. A car appears too often. A man watches too carefully. Counter surveillance. He knows people like you exist. He just doesn't know you're one of them. You pull back. Less presence, more distance. Within 48 hours, the other side activates. Signals intelligence. They read his messages, track his money, map everything. You gave them the way in. Then, a break, a courier. You follow him. Airport, nervous, untrained. He doubles back, thinks it helps. It doesn't. He checks into a hotel. You report it. That's it. That night, a team you will never meet enters the room. No noise, no trace. Everything is copied. Returned? He never knows. A week later, 40 million frozen. 12 arrests, 3 attacks, stopped. No headlines. No credit. You leave. And the person you were there disappears. Level 5. The hunt. This one is different. The target isn't visible. No routine, no pattern, no presence. The last photo. 10 years old. He looks like anyone, because he is anyone. They call him the engineer. He builds things. Things that explode. Hundreds dead, maybe more. No one can find him. 3 years, nothing. Then they send you. Not to find him. To find everything around him. Because men like him leave traces. Through people. You start small. A courier. You find him in Turkey. Not by looking for him. By noticing what doesn't fit. You observe. Weeks pass. Then months. You build a network. In your head. Connections, dependencies. The courier leads to a doctor. The doctor leads to a name. Jordan. Then a brother. Pakistan. Each piece, small, together, a pattern. You're not chasing him. You're mapping the space he occupies. 14 months. No confirmation. Then, a call. Intercepted. A guest. A location. A village. Remote. Quiet. Too quiet. You deploy. New identity. Journalist. You arrive. You don't ask real questions. You listen. And you watch. A compound. Nothing obvious. That's what makes it wrong. Vehicles at night. Guards rotating. Patterns. You memorize everything. You report. Photos run through databases. One match. Not him. His brother. That's enough. If he's there, so is the target. You send everything. Coordinates, timing, access points. Then you're told to leave. Immediately. You go. 72 hours later. The news breaks. Target eliminated. No details. Official denial. You know what happened. You built it. Someone else finished it. Then somewhere, another star's added. Not for you. Level 6. The cost. You've been doing this for years. 7, maybe 8. You stopped counting. Different names, different countries, different lives. They blur. You speak languages you never grew up with. Sometimes, too naturally. You wake up, and for a moment, you don't know which one is yours. That's the first crack. The second is your family. You miss birthdays. You miss everything. Calls get shorter, harder to explain. Work. Busy. Later. It stops making sense. Your wife notices. The distance, the changes. You don't explain. You can't. So the silence grows until it replaces everything. The divorce is quiet. No fight. Just paperwork. She keeps the life you had. You don't. Your kids know you as the one who's gone. The one who sends things from places he won't name. You tell yourself they'll understand. You don't know if that's true. You stop asking. Friends don't exist. They can't. Every connection is a risk. The only people who understand are people like you. And even then, you don't talk about it. You just know. But the worst part is the people you use, the ones who trust you, the ones who think you're real. You build relationships, then you break them. That courier, you saw his wallet, photos, kids. You never learned their names because you knew what would happen, and it did. You don't pull the trigger, but you make it possible. That's the difference. That's what you tell yourself. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. You wake up, not knowing where you are, or who you are. You check your passport. Just to be sure, there's no medal for this, no recognition. When you retire, no one will know. When you die, they'll say you had a normal job. So why do it? 3 weeks ago, a bomb didn't go off. A shopping mall. Hundreds of people inside. They all went home. They'll never know why. They'll never know you. That's the point. Level 7. The disappearance. Years pass. You stop counting. Not because you want to, because the numbers stopped meaning anything. Names, countries, operations. They blur. You've been too many people for too long. 17 identities, 12 countries, dozens of missions, a few moments where everything should have ended, but didn't. Now, you're in a cafe. It feels familiar. Not the place, the situation. Coffee, newspaper, a seat with a clear view of the room. Old habits. They don't leave. They just wait. You don't scan the room anymore. You notice it, without trying. Patterns, movements, things that don't fit. And then you see him across the room, young, focused, trying to disappear, trying too hard. You spot him instantly. The way he sits, too straight. The way he drinks, too careful. The way he checks his watch, not for time, for control. He thinks he's invisible. He's not. You remember that version of yourself, the confidence, the certainty, the belief that skill alone makes you unseen. It doesn't. You could walk over, sit down, correct him, tell him the things no one told you, how to slow down his breathing, how to stop looking at things and start seeing through them, how to disappear in a space so small there's nowhere to hide. You could save him years, maybe more. But you don't move, because if he's here, he's already been seen. Maybe not by you, but by someone. And if that's true, then this isn't training, this isn't practice, this is real. You take a sip of your coffee. Don't look at him again, you don't need to. If he's good, he'll learn. If he's not, he won't last. That's how this works. That's how it's always worked. You finish your coffee, fold the newspaper, leave exact change on the table. Routine, control, distance, outside. The world moves like nothing is wrong. People laugh, talk, complain about things that matter to them. None of them know, none of them will ever know that somewhere, someone is watching, someone is deciding, someone is making sure their lives stay normal, and they will never see it. Because if they did, it would already be too late. You step into the sunlight, blend into the crowd, no urgency, no hesitation, just another face. And within seconds, you're gone, not hidden, erased.